I learned this early on in my career, why buyers and sellers really should never be left alone without supervision. I'll give you this short story. So I was representing the buyer on a seller that was moving out of her home she'd lived in for 4 decades. It was a beautiful home. She hadn't really done much repairs to it, but there was certain amount of oak and things like that you can imagine that most buyers would come in today's market and want to touch up. She loved her house, and I walked out to go grab a piece of paper from the car, and I came back in and the seller looked like she had seen a ghost. What had happened was the buyer had started to tell the seller of all the renovations that they were going to do, starting with the oak banister that her late husband had put in, and it was almost a deal breaker where she was just like petrified that they were going to completely change the home and it loses its character. I quickly jumped in and explained that just as she had owned the home for 4 decades, this buyer was going to own the home for 4 decades, and they were going to want to put their own touch on it. What we ended up doing is exchanging emails, and the buyer ended up putting their own touches on it. We sent pictures to the seller, and she loved all of the improvements and saw that not only that her husband's work and her family's work of the home was improved, but that the home lived on and it had a soul, and she was extremely happy. So as this story could have had a really bad ending, it ended up having a happy and memorable ending.